Welcome to Random Select. Please enjoy.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mario, and I would like to welcome you into another episode of Random Select. And today, we're kind of just gonna shoot from the hip, have an open forum, just gonna ask questions and answer, talk like we almost in our living room. And today's panelist, we have Haviland. She's a returning panelist. She's been on before. What's going on with you, Haviland?
I'm at work and you caught me with my mouth full.
That's one of them ones I definitely won't touch. Okay, we'll move on to Tyra. How you doing today, Tyra? She's a first-time panelist. What's going on with you?
Hi, I'm doing well. Everything's going well with me. I'm sitting here and enjoying the weather here in hot Atlanta.
Okay, that was going to be my next question. Where are you? But you answered it already. Hot Atlanta. All right, with that being said, we're going to jump right into it. And my very first question, and I'm going to go start with Tyra since having to give you a chance to finish that up. It sounds good, but give you a chance to finish that up. How come, and this is a direct question that I always want to know, how come every time you guys try to talk to us, we always consider it nagging or we just want to put the issues on. We always say, gosh, she's always nagging. A 5 minute conversation turns into 30 minutes. Why is that, time?
When you speak of you guys, you are referring to us females, correct?
Yes, yes. Sometimes we say we could solve this in 2 minutes, but y'all take that and turn it into an hour conversation.
Well, us women, we do love to talk, but we also like to be thorough. Give you a bunch of details to help you paint the picture of what we're trying to get across, the point that we're trying to get across. And I know you guys are like, okay, it's blah, 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 blah. But, we as women, we just like to give the whole picture. And
Okay.
that's who we are. We're very detailed.
Okay. What about you, Havlin? Why we always think you guys are nagging?
I'm in the same boat with Miss Clark because it's like we try to ask you the question in the simplest form, but then it turns out that y'all will give us this look like you don't understand, and so then we try to put it in another format, and then just trying to get you to understand where we're coming from. It's not trying to be nagging, but we want to make sure that you understand exactly what we're saying, so we don't sit here and have the misunderstandings that seem to come into play after the fact.
Okay, so when we had a misunderstanding, one of the first things us men like to say about women, when we don't agree with y'all or when we break up with y'all, we'll tell anybody who's listening that she crazy. Why we always think y'all crazy? Man, she crazy. Why we do that?
It's just difference of opinion. I mean, some people, look at situations from a different set of lenses as other people do. What may be crazy to one person may not be crazy to all. But if you're not used to dealing with a female on that level and it's different, of course it's going to be out of the norm for you, and you would just think it's crazy. But to us, if it's something not crazy, like for example, trying to chase a man around the house and because he said this or he said that, but something like as it regards like topics we may have a difference of opinions on, if you never heard someone say it from their background or from their experience in a similar way, then it's out of the norm and you may think it's crazy.
What about you, Haviland? Have you heard guys say that, man, she crazy? Like when you talk to a guy, what happened to you and your last girlfriend? Man, she was crazy.
I think it comes to the point where if it's something that the other party is not interested in, it's easier to say that she was crazy than to state the fact of why the relationship or why the situation didn't work out in the way that they wanted to. And to most people, it's their terminology as their understanding as to what you meant by crazy. So for a guy to tell another guy, well, I had to leave that chick alone because she was crazy. Well, 9 times out of 10, you have to kind of look at it on both perspectives. Were they understanding of each other in the relationship, or was he wanting to do what he wanted to do and she wanted to do what she wanted to do, and then all of a sudden, here comes the controversy. And I feel like just like we had in our the last panel that I was in, most relationships go that back to the communication aspect. Nobody wants to talk about it in a way that makes it easier for both parties to just say, okay, let's just get along.
Okay, let me ask you guys this. As women, do you guys kind of miss the way dating used to be as opposed to what it is right now?
Yes.
Of course, I definitely agree with her as well.
Okay, give me an idea how has dating changed for you guys.
In one perspective, dating, when I was coming up, it's like we just didn't go straight. I mean, a guy just didn't go straight to let's have sex or whatever the same night. They had the opportunity of learning about you, what you like. You had an opportunity in learning about him. What does he like? It wasn't like a one night stand, all that stuff that's happening nowadays. It was, I think it was fun. You had something to look forward to. I believe it's quite different.
Havlin?
I'm in the same boat. I mean, I hate the fact of, knowing that my child is going on a date and I don't even know who the dude is because nobody comes to the door. They will call you from the car. Hey, I'm outside. Okay, what happened to, coming to the door, meeting the parents, because my mom was real say, I don't care who you date. I just want to know who he is. So in case something happened, I know who to go look for.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now it's like everybody's meeting people, on every aspect of the game, social media. We got people dating on Facebook and all these dating websites. These people are getting rich off people meeting each other. And then half the time when you meet that person, it's not the person that you were talking to. I don't know how many times I've gone to, and I'm guilty of being on a dating site, and I hear guys saying, you know what, I'm God fearing, and I want my woman to be this way and that way. But then when you actually meet them, they already trying to get in your pants. What happened to God? I had one guy here that told me the other day, time I'm just gonna pray for you. And just 5 seconds before that, he was just telling me what we were gonna do when we go on our first date. I was like, okay, that didn't make quite sense to me, but if you want to pray for me, go ahead. I haven't heard from him anymore, but hey, thank you for the prayer.
But isn't it amazing that nowadays everybody has a mean keyboard game, but these are the same people that wouldn't talk to you if they saw you like at the mall or out and about, but behind the keyboard, everybody bold and just, make themselves seem just, so wonderful these days,
And
you
that's what
know.
I try to tell people. I said, look, believe me, if they're telling you something on that keyboard that sounds too good to be true, 9 times out of 10, it is. And I said the same thing when you have that gut feeling when you meet somebody and you just kind of like, dang, it's just something just ain't right about this person. Go with your first gut. Because 9 times out of 10, what they're spilling to you, I can best believe you on social media, they have spit that same game to somebody else. It's just that they're waiting on that person that is going to be the sucker to sit here and believe it. Because I can sit here all day and preach on Facebook, I got the house, I got the car, I got this, I got that. But they don't realize sooner or later, I'm going to have to see you in person. Unless you're going to be
Yeah.
like some of these people on Catfish that, been talking to somebody for months and months. And I've seen some years and have never met. And then all of a sudden, when you go meet them, it's like, oh my God, this is not. Yeah, okay.
Let me ask you this, Tyra. Have you ever tried online dating or dating off one of the social media sites?
I have been fortunate not to date online. A lot of people that I have dated were through friends of friends, someone that someone knew. I
Mm-hmm.
never, you know, I mean, those who do it, I have no problems with it. That's what they choose to do. But as for myself, I have never done the dating online or any type of social media.
Okay. Well, let me tell you from a man's standpoint that even as a man, I miss certain things. I miss when we used to say, nice names about girls, honey, that's my boo, my baby. Now everybody refer to them so derogatory. You'd be like, especially now that you got kids and a daughter, you'd be like, look, if he can't refer to you in a certain way, then I don't understand how women deal with that. You know what I mean? It's just I miss going out on dates. I don't want no prearranged, prices and all that. Let's just go get to know each other and see how things go. But now it just don't work like that.
No,
Y'all got to have an arrangement. agreed upon before y'all even see each other. You know what I mean? And it's sad that our kids gotta not know what it feels like to actually be into somebody and them truly be back into you for the right reasons.
Mhm.
Exactly. I agree with you totally on that. I mean, it just takes the romantic part out of it. It's nothing like you say. It's nothing like getting to know someone and just grow with them as you learn them and becoming the best of friends before you become anything else. I mean, that was a huge advantage that we had growing up. Again, the respect thing just almost have like disappeared on
It's
both.
non-existent. I
Exactly.
mean, I can't stress enough that I see these women on these girls, and I mean even some women my age that are on Facebook in some of these groups, and I mean they're ready to show all of their goods to somebody that you don't even know before you even get to know them. And I said, do you realize after you hit send, there's no taking that picture back. There's no way to get what you just gave somebody for free. And I said, you always hear that saying when we come up, why I sit here and try to get the the cow when the person wanted all he wanted was a milk. Well, you got so many people giving away the milk, bump the cow. And
Exactly.
it's a sad state of affairs that what we have lost our daughters and our sons to a world where what you want and what you tend to get are never the same thing, but you're willing to settle for just anything for the moment. And then when you
Okay.
see these girls getting heartbroken because they have fallen heads over heels and then find out that guy is nowhere near that guy that you were talking to online.
That's true. And again, I think it goes back to the basics. We need to love ourselves and develop our self-esteem and just, don't become desperate, being a destitute mind where you could just sell it for anything. Because we're human beings. We're created to, have companions.
Hmm.
I mean, but we just have to be careful in doing so, be wise. And we used to have older people to give us directions, but nowadays, you know, older people are scared to talk to the younger ones, fear that, oh, if I say something wrong, they may shoot my head off. I don't know. But we have a disconnect somewhere in society as it relates to relationships.
I mean, you
And
find people that will spend more time trying to pick out the next pair of shoes they bought, they're going to buy before they sit here and take the time to get to know the person they're willing to give their bodies up to.
that's what I was about to say, that the thing you was talking about, that disconnect, is because material things have replaced how a woman see about the temple. Her body is the temple. Now it's about, can I get that bag? Can I get those sneakers? Is he going to take me on this trip? Is it going to be a weekend getaway? And I'm not just putting this on the woman. It's the same for the guys too. Most guys, I mean, I don't know how it was back in the day, but I don't remember as many guys looking to move in with women 2 weeks after they met them back in the 90s. I mean, maybe it went on.
I
I
was.
mean, but it just seems like it's rampant these days.
And what gets me even on that, for not only so the guys that's willing to move in with someone that they just met in such a short period of time, how many women will open up their doors to somebody they don't know? And I'm looking at, okay, you have kids, and then on top of that, you have female kids, and you got this random guy that you just met moving in your house, and you know nothing about him. But then when you go down and look in the line of your child being touched or him looking at your child in a way, you didn't even screen him enough. And I said, I see, and I guess it makes me so sad when I sit here and see somebody saying, well, okay, my dad last week was Peter, and today it was John. And, this is what I see on my job when I sit here and see these kids come to me and say, well, I didn't know who my dad was going to be from day to day.
And that's a sad reality, but a truthful reality. I mean, and like I was telling Tyron before we did the show, this is why random select is so good. We start off one way and head down, another road. But that's true. I mean, the ramifications of not knowing who you inviting into your home could be long lasting,
Hmm.
cause some men could literally, while you at work, messing with your kids, and it's a crazy way to think about that, but that's a reality of what's going on in this world today. We could turn on the news right now. Within the next 3 or 4 days, we'll hear about somebody done touched the child. It's starting to happen all the time nowadays.
When you have the young lady having the boyfriend to babysit the children, and you hear this on the news constantly, the child,
Mm-hmm.
died from the boyfriend beating them, something in that nature. You know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
now I'm
Yeah.
looking for solutions. What do we do to fix our society? What can we do as a community? Do we need to bring more mentoring programs in? Do we need to find strong leadership, whether it's in the Senate, Congress, our local church? What would be the resolution for these issues? Because if not, our generation is definitely, going to be, gone. It's sad to say, but it's reality.
But these
It is
kids
God.
value money. These kids value money and things over everything now. You could talk to, I be hearing like 12, 10-year-old kids, all they got to get that money. I'm a hustler. I'm a ball. I mean, we've done something to these kids where that's all they value now is everybody want to be ballers. Everybody want that money. Everybody want to hustle.
Yeah.
So how do we fix that?
I think we need to go back to the older times when you remember we grew up where they say it takes a village to raise a kid. I'm not saying that, I want my neighbor next door beating on my child if they see them doing wrong, but I do want somebody to take responsibility in my absence and know that my kid will be protected. And I said, you see so many, especially in the black neighborhoods, where, you hear about all these people wanting to come in and volunteer to take the kids to this, but I don't know how many times in my community that it's always a white church that's coming into the black neighborhood to take the kids on these outings and vacation Bible schools where they're getting them all out in the field to do something positive. And I said to sit here and look at these girls that are twerking with their daughters. You got the dad smoking with their sons. I'm like, what the heck are we doing, people? And I'm
I,
not going to sit here and say that that's the perfect thing because I said, you know what? If I want my child to be safe, I'm not going to sit here and tell them they can't smoke. But at least I can sit here and say, in my point of view, I'd rather you smoke in my house because I know for a fact you will be safe in my house. But, somebody may see that as different. But I mean, right now, we're in a world where it's always about where I can get my next uh $1,000 coming from, where I can get that next Michael Kors bag, where I can get my next Jordans. And if it means
Yep.
stealing, by
Yep.
all means, you best believe that's what they're gonna do.
All right, and totally just switching gears and switching up really quick. I don't know if y'all heard about this, but what about the lady who got locked up and her kids got taken away because she beat them three boys, 13, 12, and 10 for breaking in a house, but they took her kids away because she disciplined her kids for breaking in a house.
That's sad.
I mean, we going too far when you starting to say parents can't discipline the kids no more. They broke in someone's house. Now, if the homeowner would have came home or the police would have killed those boys, it'd have been something different.
Oh,
absolutely.
okay. A case in point. Go back to, I don't know if y'all remember back in Alabama where the girls was on Facebook, invited the black dudes to their house. Now they knew what was going on. The granddad didn't know, but when he got in the house, he saw the two black dudes. Didn't ask questions, sat them down in the living room. One tried to get up and he shot him. Then
Yes,
here we come with the race card. First of all, your kid didn't have any ways to invite those boys over there. So what were you doing that they were on Facebook inviting guys over to the house? And then we had the parents going back and forth, back and forth. Well, oh, it's a race thing because she was mixed with black and white, and they were black. You wrong, you wrong. You as a son, as the boy, had no business going over in that woman's house, that man's house, 12, 1 o'clock. Anyway,
hmm
so if you were to talk to your son, look, ain't nothing open after 12 o'clock but Cadillac doors and whores. And if you ain't they looking like a Cadillac, okay, that goes to tell you where the girls are going.
that's right.
Anything you want to add to that, Tyra?
Sure, going back to the situation that's at hand that you just mentioned about the young lady, I believe she's from New Orleans. But
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
this is what happened when government get involved. If we as a people don't come together and go out there and try to enforce laws and rules where we can have the police and everybody else behind us to say, you know what, um, we can define abuse, put limitations on it, but we have to find a way to discipline our children because this is the result when government gets involved.
Hmm.
System catch them. Either way,
Hmm.
they going to jail or somebody dying.
Mhm.
Yep.
You know,
And
so I mean, I understand what the young lady was doing. I think the whole world does. To some
Mhm.
yes.
majority of the people do. Let me say that.
Well, what about the lady? Y'all, do y'all remember when the lady got put in jail because her husband had been abusing her? She shot at the ceiling and got locked up.
Oh, you talking about the one who they gave all this time cause she tried to claim stand your ground, but they didn't let her
She
cause
tried
she felt
everything to get them to get that man off her
yeah.
house because he had been abusing her for years. And every time they sat here and said that because of whatever the situation was, their hands were literally tied. So finally, she had enough, and to get him off of him, she didn't shoot at him. She
Hmm.
shot up at the ceiling, and she
Hmm.
got just as much time for shooting at the ceiling than she did as far as shooting him.
Wow.
Well, all right. Before we wrap this up, guys, and I just want to ask, do you? I mean, thinking about the lady and her kids, I want to ask this question. Honestly, I'm gonna start with you, Tyra. Do you think that we have sort of given kids way too much power these days, way too much rights? Now they can quote and say, "I'm calling this and I'm doing that," and you can't touch your kids. That you got to pay for, that you got to buy books for, clothes for, but somebody else tells you how to raise them. How do you feel about that?
I mean, as a society, yes, they have given children too much rights. They're young, they still need to find their way, but they need parents as guidance, good parents. And when we grew up, our parents, with us, did what they had to do. And if the neighbor caught you doing something, they hit you too, and the police would say, well, you shouldn't have been doing this. You need that, because, when I was growing up, they'll say, you don't do that. But they wouldn't have
Yeah,
really. But the government, I mean, this is what happened when we don't um, bring our children up, to respect each other and themselves mostly, that, the government get involved. And when the government get involved, they set the rules, and the police enforce the rules that the government have put in place,
Mhm.
which bring a divided society, because not
Mhm.
everyone is like that. Not all children are like that, you know.
Mhm.
But when the world have to raise our children, this is the result.
and that's why I say in this country, and I've talked about this with my friends, mostly my male friends. I said we need to have something what we call common sense court. Not nothing that has laws and stuff, but just common sense stuff where you just say, you know what? You go to McDonald's, you waste hot coffee in your lap, and you try to sue McDonald's. You say, okay, get your ass out of here. Common sense. You shouldn't have dropped the coffee in your lap. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm. We need common sense court
But
where we can stop everybody sue for everything now.
if you
I
notice,
And they,
everything that comes on TV, I just seen thing they were talking about Johnson's baby powder. How long have we been using Johnson's baby powder?
Oh
And
God,
I
now
mean,
they're talking about
forever.
suing.
almost as
They're talking about suing Johnson, the people that made Johnson's. I think it's Johnson baby powder and shower to shower because they knew it was talc in the powder. And now they're talking about it could cause cancer. And I was like, are you serious? I done used Johnson baby powder since I was a knee high to a duck's butt. I ain't got cancer. Where y'all get y'all Johnsons at?
But that's what I'm saying. We need common sense court because the lady, yeah, she may have, left a mark on the child, right? And I ain't saying that nobody should beat their kids,
right.
but she got three boys. One is a teenager, one is 12, one is 10. You got to take control of that before them boys get out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
Because at a certain point, they're going to be taller than her. So she got to try to establish, because the husband, their dad is in prison. So she got to establish that she ain't playing around early with them kids. And now, they probably giving them all type of counseling while they taking away. When they come back and she get out of jail, she ain't gonna have a leg to stand on with them
No,
kids.
because they already deprogram their mind and then program it with what they believe that they should be privileged to.
Yep. And they probably told them if she ever try this again, here's a number to call or here's something, so now they've taken all the power out this lady's household.
They have.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, all right, y'all. I know everybody is having us at work, and I know Tara.
I'm sitting out on the deck enjoying this view. Let me go ahead finish.
Yeah. So, is there anything else y'all would like to talk about before we wrap this up?
Uh, I think this was pretty intriguing. I just wish that, more people take time to just as much time as you invest in trying to get that next dude to be your guy, invest that same amount of time in your kids. Because you know what? We are what our kids look up to. And I could, like in the situation with the young lady that, with the three kids, you can't be your kids' friends all the time. So it's
No.
like my thing is, yeah, I can sit here and I can talk to my kids about any and everything, and I want them to feel like they can do that because I know it's somebody out there in the street that's gonna teach them something totally different, and
And that,
that's when we gonna have that problem. Because I tell my
Yep.
kids, I said,
Yep.
what they tell you out in the street is just gonna be for only a temporary fix. Because once the problem starts, you gonna come back to me and say, well, mama, you told me. Yes, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give you life reality. It's not all fun and games. You're gonna
and
have to learn common sense over street sense. And street sense gonna seem like it's gonna get played out because it changes every day.
You know how, as a man, when I got older, you realize you had to filter through all the bullshit you got taught in the hood, all the nonsense you got, especially about women. I got taught so much nonsense about women. When you look back on it, you be like, "Wow, this is who I was learning from. This is
Yes,
who I listened to."
yes, I remember. Ah,
Yeah, so you learn a lot of messed up stuff. All right, Tyra, come on, give us some closing thought. What's going on in
you
your
know,
mind?
we just have to be just more attentive to our children that's coming up in this generation. When I was growing up, I didn't have time to be in the streets. My mother kept me in the church. I slept in the church pretty much with the sleepovers, and I really
mhm,
got God in my spirit, and and that helped me through a lot of situations because situations are gonna come. But what we have to learn how to do is make good choices when these situations popped up. Not to say that everything that we're gonna, the choices that we make will be correct, but based on the information that we have, we can make good decisions. I mean, we just have to be, just try to listen to people who have been through it, the experience and stuff. That helps along the way, and looking out for a brother, not being afraid to just speak up. And I know there's a lot of peer pressure, more so now than what we had coming up. There's a
Yeah.
lot, like
Yes.
social media is an influence, television is an influence. So
mhm.
therefore, we just have to just, come together, like she said, as a village and get a hold of these children and show them there's a better way to life than okay, fast money. What does fast money result to? Prison. You want to spend the rest of your life in prison? Why not be an astronaut, a scientist? We have to bring these type of thoughts and education into the community. We have to educate them to become better people.
I mean,
I agree
I
with
just
that
want people to get
100%.
out of that mentality that just because you stay on one side of the track, that you can't be anything that you want to be. And I said, I went through life being told what I can't, what I can't, what I can't. Well, I'm here to tell people, you know what, even at 50, I'm not too old to learn. I went back to school and got a degree, going on a second degree, because I said, there's so much I want to learn that's not being offered on my side of the tracks. So I'm gonna go on the other side of the tracks and get it. And that's what I tell my kids, what I tell these ones that I work with. Don't always stop with what somebody tells you, because the only person that's gonna stop you is you.
Exactly.
All right, well, we're gonna end it right there. And Haviland, that was some real positive thoughts. And I want to thank Haviland. I want to thank Ty. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Random Select. You can find Random Select everywhere where there's social media. You can find us on YouTube, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, tune in radio, and check out therandomselect.com for great blogs. We're always doing giveaways and things like that, so stay tuned and we appreciate it. Check out the Facebook page, and we definitely would like to have Miss Tyra back on the Random Select podcast. This was truly fun. I appreciate her, and thank
Thank
you.
you.
So with that being said, and we know we definitely gonna have Havlin back. So with that being said, thank you guys, and the Random Select is out.
You have been listening to Random Select. Thank you. Goodbye.